Bonjour everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk, L'Oréal Professionals Hybrid Masterclass. I'm Philippe Zemmit. I'm the Global Head of Education for L'Oréal Professionnel, and I'm coming to you live from our beautiful L'Oréal Professionnel headquarters here in Le Visionnaire, in the heart of Paris, where the sun is nicely with us today. Today, we are diving into hair transformation. Those moments when hair and styling don't just refresh a look. They create a whole new identity. Creating characters is going to be the topic of this afternoon. And to guide us, we have two amazing artists with us on set. Ben Gregory, taking us deep into the creative world of coloring for editorial coloring. And you'll see he has a little surprise with twins transformation. You'll get the concept very quickly. And Jawara. Jawara Wuchope is one of the most thought-after names in fashion. And he'll show you how to transform texture. Both will show us the transformative power of hair. Before we jump in, let's see who's with us around the globe. Please, on the chat, we are all here following the chat. I have my chat here with me, so we'll be able to interact. We have 3 chat managers today, so please drop all your questions to them, and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions. A big hello to all the watch parties and all the pros that are connected across the globe. I know we have a lot of people in France that are connected in our academies, in Salon, and even online, same as everywhere around the globe. As you know, we had a live this morning. It was extremely successful. Lots of views either on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, but also on Access, which is our main broadcasting channel. Speaking of pros, we've got an A-list stylist in the audience right here with us, and we'd like to have you all here representing the L'Oréal professional community at its best. Please, you as well, you are my friends. You're with us since this morning. Do not hesitate. Remember, I have the mic. Every question that comes to your mind, drop it, and Jawara and Ben will enjoy answering this question. So, send us all your questions. You can normally hear us in your own language. We'll do our best to answer you in your language as well on the chat, and so you'll be connected live with our artist. This being said, I think everybody is is looking forward to discover what's going to happen. Just a heads up before we start. This afternoon, this session is really different than what we've been doing in the Tech Talks in the past months. It's dedicated to creativity, to the process of creativity. So don't expect a ABC or a step-by-step to create a technique that you will be able, tomorrow 9 o'clock on the first client, able to apply. It's really about the philosophy of creating something, how to move from an idea to a concept to an image. What you're going to see this afternoon is really 2 talented professionals that works more in the fashion industry than in our hair industry, and that's really what they are willing to share with us. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone around the world to have another vision of hairdressing, another approach, another way of thinking, and so maybe they will open different paths, different career, different ways to see and to visualize your work. Work is an art, so hairdressing is an art. So please help me to welcome on stage our 2 artists, our 2 pros, our 2 friends, our 2 very inspiring A-list hairdressers. Please welcome with me Jawara and Ben Gregory. Please, guys, it's yours.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello,
Hello,
guys.
everyone.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for traveling all the way from New York and from London to Paris to be with us.
All the way from London.
All the way down from London. We had like a great also weekend together because we've been working, as you may all seen on socials, we've been working together on the Transformation Day, which was really like the transformative power of hair, but like really put into reality with lots of influencers coming from many different countries.
Yeah.
First comes to your mind, how did you leave this weekend? What happened to you this weekend? What did you really enjoy?
For me, it was fun because I love to transform. I think it's like such a magic to see someone come in one way and leave the next. So I've had a lot of fun.
You had a lot of fun?
A lot of fun.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah,
It was tiring though.
Tiring though. Lots of activity. Lots of activity.
Echoing that, I think, yeah, it was ultimately, it was great fun. I think what was so nice was to be in a room full of artists that are from such diverse kind of backgrounds. There's so many paths to success in this industry. It's not a binary, you know, if you do this, you've made it. You can be a session hairdresser, you could be a salon hairdresser, and everything in between. And it was really nice to see that kind of melting pot of people's tastes and identities, also mixed with the influencers who came with their own set of kind of ideas as well. So it was really nice diversity.
During today, we'll have the possibility to share with our audience a few images of that Transformation Day. It was quite successful. It was like record breakings, and I will use that opportunity while you're like discovering the images on your screen. I'd like to use the opportunity to congratulate and to really say thank you to all the team that have been working with us backstage during this transformation, because we did like approximately between 60 and 70 real strong hair transformation. And then thanks to your dedication, thanks to the education team dedication, like all the people coming from different countries to support us. Thank you very much, because your help was precious. It would have been impossible to do that without you. So thanks. We make it shy, but like still we make it. Still we make it. And for the people that are watching us online, it's because they are all seated behind the cameras. So we just wanted to highlight, that they are extremely important for us. You've seen online the images of this Transformation Day. Very successful transformation, lots of views on social media, and so inspiring as many women as possible around the globe. Before we start, can you tell us like a few words on who you are and what is like your you want to start, Ben?
I'll go first.
Fabulous.
So I'm Ben Gregory. I own salons in the UK, and I'm also a session artist specialising in colour, which is not too frequent. You don't see lots of that, so it's quite niche. So really, I kind of have this kind of joint perspective between salon, business, sessions. So I think we lead with creativity, and then we think about how we can capitalize on that in the salon, and you know how it can all be a cohesive kind of melting pot. So that's kind of what I'm bringing, hopefully, to the table today.
Fabulous, thank you.
Love that. And I'm Jawara. I am a fashion hairstylist working in fashion, working with celebrities. Some of my celebrity clients include Beyoncé, Rihanna, Dua Lipa, Doja Cat, Cardi B, Erykah Badu, Mary J. Blige, just to name a few. And as far as fashion, I've done the runway shows for Burberry, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, campaigns for a number of brands. And I love session work, but I also love, I'm a salon kid, so I used to be in the salon, so that's where it started for me. So I'm always here to inspire other salon kids to rise up.
To rise up.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. I love this. I love this. I have to say that like during the prep of this session, like sharing with you guys have been very inspiring, because you really have another approach of hairdressing, either in color, but also in styling. But both of you have like really like the common point of like, you want to help the hairdressers, like the hairdressers that you are watching us online, the hairdressers that are here in the audience, front row or back row, to really have another experience in life, and also maybe try something different, maybe not working every day on the salon, maybe sometimes in a salon, sometimes in other dimension. And I think that would be like very, very, very inspiring. So thanks for this generosity.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Maybe in order to move ahead, we could start our chat with you, Ben. And so we'd like to. We'd like to know what do you. Thank you, Jawara. We see you like in a few minutes
Yes,
with your models.
Of course.
Jawara, what is the main message that you want to share to the audience that is like every type of hairdresser from every country around the world? What is like the key message you want them to leave this live with?
Well, I think when we started speaking about what I could teach today, it's not that I want to come here and teach you a new foil placement. You all know how to do a foliage and a teasillage. And, of course, there's that ABC style learning that's fundamental. And it's so important, and it's got such an important place. And so many of the faces I see in this room, do that so incredibly well. But I was thinking about what is it that I do as a colorist when I'm on set? And it struck me that actually it's anti-ABC. So you're approaching it in a way that you may not have ever done before. And I think what I want people to get from this is to uncover a new kind of confidence in themselves. And I see a lot of Instagram pages that are very similar. People have found their way. Everybody on social media, obviously, has got this amazing pool of inspiration, and lots of people are doing things that are incredible on there. And I think it would be really great just to encourage people to feel bold and brave and confident in the unknown, and have confidence in their skills to apply them in different ways. And when we did the Transformation Day yesterday, my model threw me a curveball, and I thought she was going to be supernatural, and she said she wanted to be a cyberpunk. So I'm not well-versed in doing cyberpunk hair, but I have confidence in everything that I know, all of the techniques that I know, to combine them and find your confidence in the unfamiliar, not only in the things that you've become very familiar with because you're very good at them.
And you told me during this prep something very interesting, which was like the difference between working in the salon and working in the editorial is like you don't do the same job. You still color the hair, but the approach is different.
Yeah, I think what's different is the reason. So when your clients come to the salon, you're trying to uncover an identity. You're trying to help them understand how to express themselves. They might not have the same creative language as you, but they will have a catalogue of references, just the same as you do, but they may not be thinking about them creatively, So I think when you're on set, you're not trying to enhance or find a character that exists. You're working with a blank canvas, and you're building a character from scratch for that day. And so the reason is two very different things.
It's that thing that I wanted to come back on, and I think it's important to share it with our friends, because creating a character is not coloring the hair. Coloring the hair is a part of building a character. And I think we've been working on two, like a strong example.
Yeah.
And congratulations for the idea. Love it.
Thank you. Thanks for the credit.
It's a first. It's a first. Thanks for the idea. So could we please welcome our two models, Jade and Emma. Please come with us. And I will let, in that case, explain you in detail what you've been doing. Hello, girls.
Thank you.
I think the girls, they are very shy, so you know what? We have to help them, right? A little bit. I mean, like... So, could you explain us what you've been doing on this model? And what's the trick about? Why do they keep the gown? And what was the starting point?
Yeah, so when we started talking... and we started talking about what I could bring to the table and what I had to offer, it was this idea of character building. And I thought, what better way to do that than start with twins? So they look exactly the same. We've brought them out today. They're both wearing black pants. They're both wearing the L'Oreal gown. So the only information you have is the hair. There's no makeup. It's minimal. Now, if I asked you to tell me a story, if I gave you a project now, write a story about each one of these girls, think about what you might say, and then ask yourself what then the hair is telling you. And of course, we're all this beautiful pile of contradictions. It's not to say that if you've got this beautiful, glamorous hair, you can't be, you know, into heavy metal music. Of course you can. But imagery and runway, first impressions and the familiar, the obvious, is what really sells the point. So we've kind of created today our punk and our glamorous woman. So we think a lot. Philippe was saying to me earlier, you know, how do you decide what to do? And it goes back to that thing of I don't walk in thinking, oh, I'm going to do that foil placement that I learned. There's a place for that in the salon, absolutely. But in fashion, what you're trying to do is create a character. So, for example, when I was doing this hair today on our lovely punk, I was thinking about what would naturally happen. I'm telling myself a story. Who is this woman? And for me, she lives in Camden. You know, she can't be bothered. She did dye her hair once because she's got a point of view, but she can't be bothered to keep up with the roots. You know, she's slept on it. She's been out drinking, partying. You know, she might smudge her eyeliner on in the morning. That's who she is. We put a fun little kind of braid underneath, but we also, I was thinking, if she's not brushed her hair, what would happen? It'd mat a little bit, so we backcombed and we twisted, and we kind of put the flat-ons to give those little curly mats underneath. And, you know, everything's with a heavy hand. When you're styling it, you're kind of just moving it around, because that's what would happen. When I finished it, I sprayed it all with water, and that was, to me, thinking she might have got caught in the rain. You know, so the whole time you're telling a story. Underneath, we use the net to press it close to the head, because I thought if she slept on it, that's what would happen. You'd get that bed hair. So you just move it around, you tell yourself this story, and then you layer authenticity. It got rained on, it got slept on, it was coloured 6 months ago. And with this lovely girl, obviously, she's something completely opposite. The process is one that you'll all be slightly more familiar with. You've all got your versions of how to achieve this kind of Hollywood hair. But the point is, she feels more together, more considered. This is more Hollywood. This is more punk. You know who the woman is. The power of imagery is when you layer that then with makeup, styling, art direction. All of those things cohesively come together and really help to sell the character that you're trying to create.
Fantastic. There's like 2 questions that comes quite often on the chat. First is, of course, what is the color recipe? We can touch that like in a few.
Yeah.
And also another one, which was more linked in what you just said. Where do you go for your creative ideas? So where do you fish?
Where do I fish? So I have, like everybody, we all have a catalogue. Some people, that might be what their grandmother did with their hair. It might be a band that they like. It might be a particular hairdresser that they like, you know, that posts. For me, I love nature. I love insects, butterflies, birds. You know, I find that in nature you find really unexpected combinations. And in fashion, I think that's what we're trying to create. Imagery that's powerful is something, particularly now with social media, that makes you stop scrolling. It makes you pause. And that is not going to be something that you've seen before. So you want to create something that's unexpected. And for me, when you look at, what are those beautiful ducks, kind of Japanese ducks, and they've got these amazing, crazy colours that sit next to each other that you would never stand in the dispensary and go, oh, I think I'm going to do that. So for me, a lot of inspiration comes from that. But real people as well, you know, people that you see on the tube or all manner of places, history, future. I think to be inspired is something that exists within you. It's not something that you seek out. You're always open to inspiration wherever you are.
Your ability to catch what's happening. Okay. Recipe, the color recipe, they went already on the screen. So normally you were able like to screenshot, the screens. Maybe, guys, we can resend again the color recipe just to be sure that we have the ability for everyone to. Here you are. It's on the screen. Do you want to tell us more about the the brief that you
Yeah,
gave.
so
to
I
the tape.
will,
Because
absolutely.
We got it with the character. I think to me that was a very clear expression. But like color-wise, what did you want to show? What makes it really specific?
Sure. So I think before I answer this, what I would like to say is that I feel like I'll share the color that I used, but I'm not telling you to use that color to achieve this. You do you. And the starting point will be different for every customer that you do. I always think, you get asked, particularly when you've worked with celebrities. I did Dua Lipa's color change from black to red, and it became that whole cherry cola thing. You get asked a lot, what did you use? And I always want to say, what would you use? You tell me what you'd use to create it. So what I did actually do was, obviously, both of the girls had very dark hair to start. So we started by lifting. And then we went back in. I had some amazing people helping me from L'Oreal. So thank you, Joe, wherever you are. And we worked with a mixture of things. But most notably, we used the copper booster. So we lifted it up. We kept the base raw. I didn't want it to lift too clean. We did actually go all the way to the root because I wanted 100% control. So we could have left her natural root out, but then we'd always be working with that. So I prefer to get it all up, get it the color that we want, and then we put the root in afterwards. So we use dye color to put the root in, to bring it back down. I always work with Color because it kind of, if I can, it gives you the most kind of flexibility. Often in fashion, they want to change things quickly. The model might need to revert after the shoot, so that gives you that kind of flexibility. And we worked, I mean, a lot of people would be horrified, but with this, with our hands, no brushes. So what I actually did, I came in this morning, we had a nice semi-clean base of copper, and I backcombed big sections, and I scooped pre-lightener, and I just put it on with my hands like this. I liked the idea that this fringe or the bangs had at one point been blonde. It was a thing she tried to do. And we just put it on. We left it for 10 minutes. A couple of bits we wrapped in foil. Other bits we didn't. So you got uneven lift. And it's all about layering authenticity. There's no placement. There's no consideration other than who's the character? How would she have done her hair? And this girl did not go to the salon. She did it at home 6 months ago. She did everything that us hairdressers tell her not to do. She uses shampoo from the supermarket. She uses too much heat, and she doesn't care because she knows she looks great. Yeah. Whereas this lady, she's got a bathroom full of metal detox, and she's doing all the things that we tell her to do. So with this, we lifted first, lifted the base up because I wanted quite a cool base. We then, we toned with Color. I think we did 8.1 to neutralize the warmth. We then did a forehead of Air Touch highlights, and we toned that with a number of different toners to arrive kind of where we are. The last one I put on this morning was 903 with orange and red because we wanted to warm it up a little bit.
So as you're speaking, we have like the recipe that appears on the screen, as you can see. So for our viewers, please don't hesitate to screenshot your phones or your iPad or tablet, whatever you're watching with. But so you'll be able to keep that recipe with you. Thanks.
But do your own. Do your own. Make your own recipe.
Make your own. I love that. It's like make your own. I don't want to educate on do the same as me. Do what you believe is good.
Absolutely. Who's your character? Where was your woman? Where does she live? What does she do in the mornings?
I love the approach of being very stretch away to what we usually do, which is like step 1, step 2, step 3, which is very what many pros needs because they need to follow a path. And then if you want to go more creative, you're saying do the opposite.
Yeah.
Do what you feel, what you want. Try. And it's okay if you make mistakes.
Yeah, have confidence. Obviously, respect your client. Respect the product, respect the science. You have to use the product safely and responsibly. But you know what? If you mix a little bit of this and a little bit of that, that everyone told you not to, you'll come up with something that people haven't seen. And that's what's powerful, in my opinion. But we all have our own creative vision.
Fantastic. It's almost a religion in it. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Ben.
And thank you, girls, for your patience. You both look beautiful.
You look gorgeous. And you know what? I think you could go backstage for another step of creativity, and we'll see you coming back to us at the end of the session. Okay? Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you. Please.
Thank you.
I don't want to like the. It seems obvious, but I think that guy likes to be like sitting here and watching watching us working. If I'm not wrong, Mr. Jawara, I think it's your turn to come on stage with us. You stay with us, right? Please,
okay.
please stay. No, stay with us.
I'll
Have a
stay
seat.
here, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be comfortable with you.
Yes,
and
yes.
Jawara, please. As we've been turning these twins. That was a brilliant idea. I have to say thank you because
thank you.
it gave me like so much and a lot of challenge first. Thank you, but like so much energy to show this transformation. The idea was like brilliant. You know, that this kind of thing that makes my life like more like sparkling. Jawara.
Yes.
Can I ask you before you start with your model? Mm-hmm. Where did it start? Where did Jawara, who's like a big celebrity hairdresser, where did you start hairdressing?
I started hairdressing when I was 6 years old in my aunt's salon in Jamaica. I saw people come in upset and angry, and they left happy. So as a child, I thought their hairstyles were magicians. So for me, that was like the first superpower that inspired me to become a hairstylist, because I felt like, oh, they come in upset, they leave happy, they're laughing and dancing when they leave. There must be something that they're doing other than the hair to do that. And I think that's kind of what started my career in hair. So I've been working forever.
I love that. Okay. So basically, we're not stylists. We just make people happy.
Yeah.
That's what we give them a smile.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. You're working a lot on session styling, or a lot,
Yes.
only on
Yes.
session styling.
Yes.
While you're showing us like tricks and
Yes.
your models, if
Well,
you allow me to ask you some questions.
Of course. But before that, to piggyback off of what Ben was talking about, I think when you're on set, you work with a lot of character building. Who is the character? Not how to do the hair, who's the character. However, on set, sometimes you're not afforded a lot of time.
Okay.
So you have to change the character. You work on the hair for 2-3 hours, and then the photographer's like, this is not working. We need a new character. So let's change the characters together, change your hair and makeup. However, we have 20 minutes. So you've worked on this texture, and you built this character, and then you have to figure out how to change that character in 10, sometimes 20 minutes. And I think that's something that I want to show today, like how we use simple things that we learned, whether you learned it in beauty school or not, how to change the texture, change the character fast. And
that's amazing.
Building on what you said before.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great connection. Great pros. So shall we welcome your first model,
Yes,
Olivia?
yes.
Please
Yes.
come with us, my dear.
Hi, Olivia.
Amazing outfit, Olivia.
Everyone give Olivia a hand. She's very patient.
Please have a seat. Be careful with this. That was my thing. And there we go.
So Olivia has very straight hair. And I felt like today I wanted to create a character that had a bit of texture and a bit of wildness to her hair, but not too wild. So we wanted to create this braided texture that we have. We braided the hair, but we prepped it with, this is my favorite right now, the fixed design. Prepped it with a lot of fixed design, and then I also layered it with some volume root lift, as well as volume extra full, which is like really good to layer the hair in. We dried the hair really straight, and then we started to braid it. I'm gonna do one right now just so you can see how we did it. For all of those who don't know this, I think a lot of people do know this, but it's simple things like this that we can't take for granted, because little things like this is what makes you move fast in fashion and be able to like pivot very fast. So what we started to do was to just take the hair in 3 and do a quick braid. I started as a braider as a kid, by the way. The first thing I learned how to do was roller sets and braids when I was 6 years old. So it always feels nostalgic when I'm doing it on set. It's like one of those things that just calms me down, I think.
So playing with doing braids.
Little infinity. Do a lot of that backstage too. Infinity King backstage.
So give me a second. I give you like the mic, so like
Yeah, of
also
course.
the audience can hear you.
Hi, Jawara.
Hi.
So the hair was dry.
The hair was dry, and then I went through and saturated every section first with the volume extra full.
Yeah.
And then once I did that, we brushed the hair super straight, and then we sectioned again and went in with the fixed design.
Amazing.
On every
Thank you.
section, like saturated. I think people need to understand on sets in fashion, we have a heavy hand, like Ben, like Ben said, because it's more about the character as opposed to you pleasing a client. The client is the world that we're building. So it's not necessarily, we have a heavy hand with products and a heavy hand with certain things because we want to like make it a bit extra. So there's a lot of like things that we do on set that you wouldn't necessarily do in the salon, but I think you can kind of like take a little bit of that and add it to it just to give the character a little bit more validity, I would say. All right, so we braiding it all the way down to the end. And then we do another round of infinity really quickly. Make sure all my stuff is on. Sorry guys, I'm like all over the place, don't mind me. Okay. Then, take my little clip here and put it on the end. And I just take a straightening iron and just lightly tap the hair.
On? Is it on?
Yes.
Yes.
Lightly tap the hair from the root. I like to press it hard. I call it press it like a panini machine, personally, just to make people know, like, that's what I want it to feel like once it's done. And then we have it just section by section, making sure you hit every wave, every braid. I had to do this one time on a Gucci campaign set when the model had straight hair and they were in this boat and it just didn't feel like that girl would wear that bag. So I had to like bring her into a bathroom with my assistant. And we did this in like 10 minutes and it was like a hit. And so kind of like that's what reminded me of this, to do this today, because I felt like if I had someone tell me that, I would have probably made a better decision that day, but I'm gonna share it because it saved me. All right, so as we let that cool, I'll take out a couple more of the ones that we did before, just so you can see what it should look like when it comes out of the braid. The tension of the braid is a little tighter than normal. We're not on vacation, so we're not like braiding our hair for vacation. We're braiding it for the wave, so the tension should be high. It's not like when you go to Jamaica and you get your hair braided on the beach, not like that.
Right. And why does the tension is important?
Because it creates more of a wave, depending on like what kind of wave you want. And I wanted like...
It's too loose.
Yeah, you don't want it too loose because then it's like, if she has naturally straight hair, her hair is super, super straight.
Okay.
So to have a little bit more tension, it creates a bit more of a wave, and that's what I love, to make sure the braid is super tight.
Okay. And I think here I would like also to highlight the importance of the product in here, because you said like you use the mousse that will like wet the hair.
Yes.
Then you had the fixed design,
Fixed
which
design,
is
and then as I'm braiding, I use the infinity spray.
the Infinium, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Infinium,
Infinium.
sorry,
Spray. No, it's the same.
I think of it as an infinity spray because it's just never ending, but...
everybody got it. But the Infinium gives you like the
Yes.
hold, and finally the heat is like fixing the
heat fixes
movement.
it and secures it.
Fixing the movement. Very good. Very good, very good.
And then we do our good old mason.
As you're working, can I ask you a question?
Of course, of course.
There's Chloe. There's Chloe. Chloe, I think is like is one of our viewers, followers online.
Okay.
What is the one product that you would always go to for holding hair?
I would say Elnet.
Elnet.
Elnet, the strong one.
The strong one.
I love Elnet, and I think it kind of like has saved me a lot of times as well.
Okay.
So I would say Elnet. For
Elnet.
like a strong hold as far as a hairspray.
Yeah.
Like you see this frizz that we kind of like, since we're building a character, frizz works for us, especially since we're in humid space. So like this is kind of like what I wanted it to feel like, super, super, just big and kind of like out of control.
Okay. And then can I go as you're
Yeah, keep
rushing?
going.
I have another one that to me is important. Because you were saying like at 6 years old you were learning how to do like rollers and braids, and so I guess that like online there's also a lot of young pros, young person
Yes.
that are wondering like, oh, I love hairdressing, it's great. I can very quickly like take like a blow dry like this, and then I play with my flat around the zigzag, and then she looks like something.
Okay.
For you, if you're back to the skills you need to have, what is the one exercise you would require someone to do that every day to really master your art?
I think that the basic hairdressing skills go way further than people think. Like using a curling iron to do an on-base curl. If I had known that would dictate a whole style of my career, I would have been like, in hair school, I was like, we have to do this every day. It literally changed my life. I think understanding that basic hairstyling skills layered with experience makes the career. And for me, that's something to pay extremely important attention to, like understanding how to do a good blow dry, how to do a good curl, how to do a good wave, how to do a good treatment or anything like that. I think that's super important, and don't overlook that if you're in school learning, for sure. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a big frizzy girl here. I'm just gonna go in and put a couple of waves in because I believe that texture looks good when it's different textures in one head as opposed to just one texture throughout. So I'm just gonna put a couple waves in. All right. It's a little warm in here, no?
Very good. Can you see well also on the screens on the side? You can connect, okay? I hope online it's also good for you with like the framing, the cameras. Don't hesitate if you want more close-up. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them onto the chat. We are here for this.
Can I get this pulled a little closer? Okay. I'm not doing a lot, just a couple, maybe like 3 or 4. Especially in this humidity, I think it'll work really well. So for me, I always like to do like something that makes it feel like a character, like we said before. So she's like an island girl. So what do island girls sometimes do? They do like a little side thing. So today I'm just gonna do like a little braid on the side, just one. Just a quick cornrow. Make it super simple, nothing too crazy. For those who know how to do that. And then we just pin it under so it's like a little side feel. Can everyone see that? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. All right. And then we can kind of hide it right here. Am I pinning it? As I said, simple things just to create a different texture. Very simple. Thank you.
Fabulous. Okay, looks amazing.
Quickly.
Looks very good on camera. We have a lot of very good comment. Love the energy. There's a lot of saying like, I just quote, thanks for sharing.
I'm just gonna grab a pen.
There's a kind of I love you. I'm sorry for that, but I have to bring it up.
Somebody said that.
Okay, so
I love you too.
So me and Kim is jealous. Everything's okay. Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
it's fine. There's a question also as you're like fixing the pen. There's also a question on the product we're using. All the products you're using are like directly appear on the side of your screen. These are exactly what Jawara was using. So you can click on this, in order to have more information about it.
Quick texture change, frizzy, big, bohemian-like, just something super quick that we did in 10 minutes, and it changed the whole shoot.
Gorgeous.
Just wanted to show you guys.
Amazing.
Super quick. All right?
Gorgeous. Can we have like a 360? Could you turn on yourself?
Yes.
Do you mind?
Good.
Okay, boom. Yeah, the camera is on her, and then boom.
Wild but pretty, right?
Well, then pretty, yeah. But like, look at how you were this morning arriving, and then with like few braids, like boom, sounds easy. But like, thank you. So mastering braids here were great.
Yes.
Using the product like in layering,
Using
in order
the product and using braid as a set.
as a set.
Yes.
It's not as a finish.
Not as a finished product.
Not as a finished part. Okay,
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Olivia.
you.
Thank you very much. We see you later. Please, big round of applause
Yes.
for Olivia. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay.
That's pretty cool. Shall we now go
Yes.
with our second model? Like, ooh, full
Yes.
of curly hair. Please be careful
Yes.
with the camera. And here she is.
Hi.
Please welcome. Pay attention when you sit because this is like fantastic.
This is another step, another thing that I learned in school that saved me on set 10 minutes, not 10 minutes. We did it in 20 minutes because I think I had like 3 assistants where we had to change the texture again. So we did a rickrack set, but then we did it not just to wear it out, we did it in an updo. So I'm going to create like another look of that really quickly today. But I'll show you for those that are watching that don't know how to do it super quick.
Leonie, have you ever had that type of hair like this? You don't think so, right? Because like, it's quite a different texture than what you used to.
So it's literally putting, I'm going to turn this way.
Yeah. Are you okay before we start? Are
pin
you okay
in.
with the camera? David, are you okay? Is it okay for you?
Hold up, let's double check with the camera.
Yeah. Yes,
Ready?
it's fine. And
Put the
good
pin
to
in
go.
at the bottom of the V, and what you're doing is you're creating figure 8 shapes around the pin over and over until all of the hair is on the pin, because the heat of the pin is what will set the hair with this one. Use the pin as a...
How many times do you burn the ends of your fingers?
Oh, I have no feeling in my fingers. I've been burning my fingers since I was 6. So I have no feeling in any of my fingers.
Okay.
Real hairstylist shit. Sorry.
Really stylish.
Real hairstylist things. Okay.
So, adding Infinium to add the alcohol that will help to
Yes, the
fix.
alcohol and the heat is what's going to create the texture. So we do the same thing again with the iron, pressing it like a panini all the way until the hair is set. I'm going to take this one out so you see how it looks when it comes out.
Okay.
And this, for me, always creates like an ethereal feel with the texture. She has super straight hair, like bone straight hair, just to let everyone know before we do this. So we layered the same thing, the mousse and the fixed design again. But I did a bit more. I did the mousse, the fixed design, and I did mousse again, and then dried it.
Okay.
Might be a little crazy, but...
Lots of hold. So you need
Yeah,
a lot
lots of
of hold on this. Okay.
What I also like to do when you're doing all of that to the hair, I like to add a little serum in my hand. So today I'm going to use the Vitamino color serum, just a little bit. It's not for color, but this is her hair is colored, but it has an ingredient in it that I feel like make the hair really shiny and glossy. And I don't want to make it too dry. So taking a little bit and just rubbing it all over her hair. This one is still cooling. I'll take that one out at the end. But the magic in this is taking a mason and just brushing it upwards instead of out. So,
Does it work with the brush? It is not a mason.
yes. I'm so used to saying mason, sorry. Yes, it does. So, it creates this airy texture.
Was this from dry?
From dry.
Yes, this is from dry.
The question was was the styling prep was on dry hair or on wet hair? I'm saying for the mic for our audience. Yes, it was done on fully dry hair.
As you're brushing it, I like to brush and then brush upwards, so it creates more of an airiness. And I like to separate the curls. Sometimes when you leave the curls together, I'll show you in the front, it does kind of look pretty. That's another style too. I did this on a Tom Ford runway show that I keyed in 2022. And all of the girls walk around with big hair and extensions. And it was like this, but bigger. So that's something that we had to do very fast as well. That's what reminded me to do this today.
While you're brushing, you're referring to the Tom Ford runway show.
Yes.
After all these years in the fashion industry, working with many different designers, your best memory?
My best memory.
Maybe
That's
there's like
hard.
2 or 3, so you don't have to say
That's
just
hard.
one, and you
Okay,
won't
so
offend anyone.
Two. The
Two.
best memory of my favorite show.
Up to you.
Okay. One would be the Tom Ford show, of course. The second would be doing all of the off-white shows with Virgil Abloh, who's a friend of
With
mine.
Virgil Abloh, so
Yes.
the off-white.
Yes.
Okay.
And then doing the Burberry shows with Riccardo Tisci. Was
With
very
Riccardo
fun.
Tisci.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a lot of color, by the way. This was about the last show I did with them before Riccardo left was 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
3 years ago.
And why if I take Virgil Abloh, which will obviously when you like creativity is
Yeah, he's
a reference, okay? So it's
100%.
like either he does it on music, on makeup, on stylism, on whatever.
Yes.
Why is it so pleasant and memorable to work with him?
I think because how authentic he was to actual street style and taking influences from people who were actually living their life the way they were, as opposed to just creating a character out of nowhere, which is not bad. But at the time, I think we needed to represent ourselves real, and he empowered a lot of people who weren't normally in fashion spaces or normally allowed in fashion spaces to create. So I think there was just this like hub of creativity and love and camaraderie that was just amazing, which
Camaraderie
very
in
thankful
fashion.
for,
With-
and very supportive of me and my endeavor. So I'm always thankful for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Fantastic.
yeah.
Okay.
So here she goes. It's getting bigger.
Well, it's fun because we see the character coming up like minute after minute.
Yeah, like a goddess. Yeah.
I hope it's okay for you on the screen. It is.
On the tray.
Yeah. Oh, see, like everybody with the phone, like, whoa, whoa. Even I have to say, even in
Yeah,
the
one
ear,
more.
the production is like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah. So hit it. I hope
Just
you do
quick,
enjoy it
simple
as well
thing.
online. Please send us some comments on the chat, and we'll be able to read it immediately. Drop us a line, and we'll be able to answer you. Whoa, this is so simple and effective. Yes.
Simple and effective, right?
Not
I'm telling
everything
you,
is
that's why I feel like
complicated.
it's so good to just take the simple things and create a story from just quick, simple things instead of overcomplicating it, right? So,
Exactly, I agree with you. Let's keep it simple when it's possible.
right. Just gonna pull the back up a little bit. Let me turn you this way, my love.
Yeah, thank you. So we can like
And
show
In
you.
the back.
David, is you okay with your camera? Good for you? Yep.
just putting
There we
the
go.
pins in.
Meanwhile, on the screen, screenshot your screen because you have the color recipe that we use to create that color with the highlights and the gloss. Because Leonie arrived already with a little balayage that we enhance a little bit, like strongly on the ends in order to create more pieces of light, like different spots into the hair. Thanks again. Shout out to the education team that did, coming from Europe, that did create together with you these looks.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you to everyone who
you've-
assisted today.
Say it again.
Thank you to everyone who assisted today at L'Oreal. I'm super appreciative.
Yep.
Okay,
Said
I'm just gonna
thank you.
fold it a bit. Just gonna fold it a bit to take some off the neck and create like a top situation here. Like a textured French roll almost.
As you're finishing, do you mind if I bring the mic to you, Ben?
Yes, absolutely.
I'd like to ask you a question. Same question that I ask because I'm naturally curious. You've been working now for a while in the fashion industry.
Only a few years.
Only
I'm not
few
that
years.
old.
No, you're extremely young. No, but seriously, what is like maybe your best memory, like in this world of fashion? Okay, because it can look very glittery or something. Wow,
Yeah.
super sparkling and shine is great. We all know that inside it's complicated. It can be a bit tense and so. But also you're able to meet great people or great
Yeah.
moments. So, yeah, what is your best?
I think, you know, a lot of it doesn't come down to an individual moment. I think you have prior to finding any kind of success, when you're in a place of aspiring to that, you imagine these moments, these kind of key, like, oh, that was when I made it, that was my... And it doesn't really work like that. You know, you do a collection of things that you're proud of, but the fact is, by the time you get somewhere, you've kind of moved on to the next project. So, like we all do, which I think we all fall victim to, we kind of don't sit in our wins for quite long enough to celebrate them. But I would say if I was to pick one moment, it was, I don't know if any of you saw the Gucci Twins show, which is kind of where my idea stemmed from today.
Perfect.
So Alessandro cast, I think, 100 sets of identical twins.
Alessandro Michele.
Yes.
Okay.
And the creative brief was for me to make their hair exactly the same. So as fellow colorists, technicians in the room, we all know actually that's very difficult to do. A lot of avant-garde work gets a lot of the praise. It's really impressive to see. And sometimes doing the stuff that is very authentic is very difficult to execute. So I was really proud of that. I think for my peers to see that, I felt very, very proud.
Okay, thank you very much.
So that was a good moment.
Good moment. Good memories. Jawara, are we nearly there?
Yes, we are finished. Actually, just a
Okay.
expressive from
The
bone
volume
straight
is
here
incredible.
to a textured French to with a little height on top. Just a little weirdness. Very quick editorial look. And there we have it.
A little bit of touch of makeup.
Little bit,
And
little
then
touch of makeup.
set up the light and then clack, clack, clack. The campaign is in the box.
Maybe a little wind too. We do a
Oh,
lot
little
of that
wind.
on set
Yeah,
to kind of
yeah.
give it that weirdness to get it.
I can pretend.
To have that
pretend.
move. Normally I would have this move. So
Yeah, this move, fantastic.
there you have it.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Leonie.
Yes.
Can you please turn around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you very
Quick
much.
and easy. 10
Be
minutes.
careful with working on this.
10 minutes.
Amazing. Thank you, Jawara.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jawara. What?
It's super easy. It's like a 10-minute thing. So I mean, like I could even try right now if it's somebody who's willing to have me change their texture in 10 minutes.
Change the texture
gonna do
in
it?
10 minutes.
Oh, nice. Come. So, Min has long, beautiful, bouncy hair. So we're gonna sleek it up real quick. Just super, super quick, right? All right.
Remove the brush.
That's great hair.
Yeah, sorry for the
Stunning.
heat here on the under the cupola.
Thank you for
It's
being a
like-
great sport, man. Okay.
I'm wondering why people are asking like the recipe of the color that was done.
The last color.
Okay, last color. No problem. That's great. Thank you. So we have a 10-minute transformation.
Quick
It's like-
10-minute transformation. She always
Okay.
has this long, beautiful, textured hair. Sometimes
Alright.
it's straight. You're not really straight a lot though, right? No, it's always has texture. Every time I see her, so I'm like, what does it look like when we pull it all back? Let's do something quick and sleek.
Of course, please. Wait a minute. I just need to give you the mic for the audience to be able to listen to you. And then if you, Mike, you have your set.
So
My
sorry.
question to you, Ben, is I couldn't believe that you have a salon group, that you actually have salons and have the career that you've got. How do you go from having that creative brain where you are thinking like so out of the box, you know, you're challenging yourself to be not commercial, and then like how do you then step back into the salon and be, because surely you do commercial hair in the salon,
Yeah.
is that Or do you take what you've done and make it into salon work as well? Like,
yeah, I
how
think
do
it's
you...
a really great question. And I think my clients and my team would attest to this, but I really approach the character building of my clients in the same way. For me, self-expression has always been so important from a child. I think as a hairdresser, to be able to help somebody uncover and present themselves to the world in a way that they feel comfortable and proud is really the ultimate privilege, and it's very unique. So I like to sit with my clients and really understand who they are. You know, what's the handbag? What reference did they show you? It's not looking at the hair. It's like, who's the celebrity? Who's the person that they're into? Who's their style icon? What does that tell me about that person? And I've got a few clients, because I have this affinity for kind of the alternative. And I've got a few clients that are now parents, and I've just seen a little spark of, you know, a band T-shirt here or there. And I've been able to kind of nurture that in them, maybe in their mid-40s, you know. And so I bring an element of that. And it goes back to what I was saying before, just feeling confident in the unfamiliar and being able to jump through your skill set and apply it in different ways to achieve ultimately the same thing, which is to fulfill a creative brief, however that may have been set.
So cool.
You're welcome. Great
Anyone
question.
has another question? Don't be shy. Nope. Surprised. Amazing. Jawara,
Yes.
you're working,
Yes.
you're creating at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And why are you doing this? What did you get? How did you get the image?
What I usually see men
Well, because I think you're doing this, and then okay, so I know how she's going to be like this at the end. I see you doing like.
It's more so just a take on seeing what it's like to see her. She's such a beautiful woman that I wanted to just see what it's like to see the hair off of her, because she always has this amazing long hair. So I'm just doing a quick like little twisty knot updo in the back just to change not the texture, but just like the silhouette of what her hair usually looks like.
Moving a little bit on the side, so then the people can see a little bit. Yeah, perfect. How it looks like there.
I'd love to say as well, Jawara, I think what's really great about what you're doing and going through these quick changes, it kind of really reflects often in the hair and makeup room.
Yeah.
You would do what Jawara's doing on the same person, and you really have to develop a thick skin.
Yes.
Because every look that Jawara's done has been great, but they won't all be right.
Right,
so
all the
you can
time.
do something that you've turned out that's incredible. You're taking pictures, you're thinking this is the content, this is going to be the moment, the toner's perfect, that, you know, and then the photographer, the art director is just like,
no,
this is not it. We're changing it.
Hence is the reason why today I wanted to talk about 10-minute changes, because sometimes you have to do 10-minute changes in one shoot day. So it's not like it saves me from one thing. No, it saves me all the time. So sometimes it's not even about the hairstyle. It just doesn't fit into what we're doing. The lighting is not right for that kind of silhouette, like you said, like you mentioned. So it's understanding how to pivot that really makes you valuable in that world. And so
knowing when to as well, I guess. You know, you can see yourself if the dress changed, the makeup changed. It's really that kind of everybody on set, isn't it, that you kind of bounce off of.
Quick naughty. Did we do under 10 minutes? Yes, right?
Under 10 minutes, way under 10 minutes.
Okay, yes. So this is a quick little 5.
8.
What is that, 7, 8? Okay, great. But quick change. We could still leave a little of the tendrils here. Just a little quick thing that makes her look a bit different than she normally looks. Sometimes you kind of have to like pivot to some simple things, sometimes bigger things, but just like something quick. It always works well on set.
Beautiful.
So, really cute, right? She's like, I don't wear this. You're like, I need my hair down. No, I'm joking.
It suits you up. It looks great.
They're cute, right? Very quick, very cute.
And here we go. Thank
Simple.
you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Fantastic, 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 Jawara. That
Thank
was
you
like
so much.
was a great one. That was a great one.
Great, quick, quick.
We would like to please stay with us here on the side, and would like to welcome back Ben's model. So please, Jade and Emma, come with us. Come with us.
Thank you.
Rock and roll and sophisticated girls. Now the twins are transformed. The twins are transformed, and a little final touch by Ben on his model. While my dear Ben, I think I don't caught you off guard on this one. There's a guy called Dean saying he's never been that proud of you.
Oh, that's my husband.
Love that.
Hi, Dean.
So he's extremely proud, just sharing
Very sweet.
that. So and then lots of comments like, oh, funny, very fun, mean, always glowing. So just like also sharing, okay. So that's gorgeous, nice, incredible styling. Ben, great idea. I think like you really made the twin idea, making like a new reference in the industry, Ben.
The twins, everyone's going to be looking for twins.
Yes, that's
I mean,
exactly.
and they both look great. And the other thing I'd like to say, you know, with this look here, something I love doing is really sculpted, busted kind of 40s hair. Today, all of this that you see, you know, this is all part of the reality because it's character building. Sometimes authenticity in fashion is better than perfection. And the way that I would say it to anyone that works in a salon, kind of wondering, oh, what does he mean by that? Sometimes your reference is ultra kind of, I think they fall into two lanes, kind of conceptual or authentic. And if it's conceptual, it might be very highly referenced, very specific, you know, sculpted, perfect. You've got a picture and that's what you're trying to do. But more often than not, the best way that I could explain it is that you're often trying to make the character look like your salon before picture, not the after picture. It's that authenticity, the fact that she's not just been to the salon. It's not your Instagram picture with the pinch, which looks gorgeous, and all of us hairdressers that are so proud of our balayage love to post. It's that picture where her roots are a little grown out, the toner's faded, she's used too much purple shampoo, she's been on the beach. It's creating that level of authenticity. So it's kind of knowing when to, if you can say deperfection, you know, unperfect your work to sell the reality. So these little fluffies, these little bits, that's what makes it real. And I think with, you know, on a slightly different note, with AI being as it is at the moment, I think as hairdressers, we all need to be really ready and prepared to pivot from perfection being perfect. I think we're going to start to see a perfect Instagram image will be something that's broken and real, because we can all achieve that perfection now with a swipe or a... So I think we're going to be looking for personality, character, in our salon work as well as fashion. So these two worlds, like I meet somewhere in the middle, these two worlds do collide. You just got to have your eyes open.
Yeah, I think looking at all the conversations we've had to prep this, we can't agree more on like with AI being everywhere, with AI doing everything instead of you. There's like no more like that. No more. Sorry, I'm not going to be like the old guy saying like it was better before. But like it's important, I think, to not forget your skills, your taste, train your eye, train your hands, as Jawara was saying, like you need to know the basics before to know how to do the shortcut and the fast track. It's important to go back to the origins of hairdressing. And to your point, Ben, incredible. You talked often about construct and deconstruct. So to build and then to destroy what you've been doing in order to like to bring it to another level.
Absolutely. And it's being brave to do that. You know, very often, we all know when we first started hairdressing, who was terrified to brush curls? I know I was.
Curls.
And when I was first on set and watched somebody brush curls, I was like, oh, that's how you do that, you know? And it's the same. Get your hands in. You know, you've done the hard work, if you've built it properly, and if they want to change it, you know, it should be something. It might be a hair story, if that's what you're working on, but if it's a fashion shoot, don't move completely away from the character. You lean into another part of that. So maybe, what would this character look like if she then went out for the night? How would this woman do her hair if she went out for the night? Because it wouldn't be that, I'm sure of it. You know, and I don't think she would do this. So you keep just reminding yourself of the character and you rerun the story. And it's a lot of fun to do that. And actually, I think they both look amazing.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, my dears. Thank you, my dears. Amazing. They're lovely. Thank you, Jawara. Yeah. Now we are like united. The models are gone. We are like between us. Do you still have a last question to ask? Last or 1, 2, 3, we have time. So feel at ease. Is there anything that you've been like discovering today, either in the techniques, either more in the thinking or in the philosophy that you would like to share or would like to take away with you?
Sorry, I've always got something to say.
She's always speaking. It's incredible. How are you dealing at school? No,
I've been so inspired. Like, I am a really commercial colorist, and watching you both today, it's just incredible the way you touch the hair, the simplicity of what you do. I think session work isn't often shared that much on social media.
Yeah.
I think in education and colour, we share everything.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful to just see these small tips that even in the salon could make such a difference.
Yeah.
I want more of it. So
Yeah,
please
I
do
think
more.
it's really grasping that idea that at this level in your career, obviously everybody will be coming from different points, but when you're established and you already know how to do everything, you know, you're kind of, what's going to elevate your work is not learning a new foil placement. It's going to be this. How can I snap out, like do the unexpected?
Yeah.
Whatever comes to you naturally, treat that as the worst idea.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Push yourself to think different.
I think so, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
And this being said, I really love like giving you the mic, Bernie. I have to jump on this because like this approach of the philosophy to me like really speaks to me.
Yeah.
As I love to do the opposite that I'm asked to do. But I think the way teaching people how to think rather than what to do is maybe more important, okay, and reaching for the future. So I think it's as my role as a head of education, which is like I have the keys to make it happen. So definitely before the end of the year, I would love really like to do a training with like really top level colorists, because I think we need, and stylists, because you need to have like a level to do this. If not, well, keep on growing and keep on elevating yourself. And so I'm sure I would love to be able to share with you, not maybe the stage, but more like the training center floor, in order to really help the people to have a new mindset, to have a new way of thinking, to have a new approach. And so to elevate their career on a daily basis, to make more clients happy and feeling
And the interesting thing is that will be two-way. Because actually, with Jawara and I walking around a room full of people that are learning, they might be approaching it in a way that we might have never thought of.
Teach
and then when you're on set, you might 100%. Think, oh, when that person did that curl like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
One of the things that I think is so valuable to me in my career is I learned from the people who work with me on the shows. I learned from the assistants. I learned from everything. I think you should never stop being a student. I think as an artist, you grow more if you just continue to learn. And so I learned from everything, especially because a lot of people who work with me are younger than me. There's new things that's happening that I'm not necessarily like aware of. So it's always good to always want to be a student.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Bernie, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm totally agree with Nancy. I'm also a colorist, and we always wanted to make beautiful content on the beautiful shine on the hair. But really, guys, you really opened my eyes.
Aww.
And I can't wait to translate this to beautiful hair color. Because, at one point we elevate each other. And on the other way, it works for me very well because it triggers me to even more making more edgy hair colors or working more with structure, not too perfect, So thank you so much. And being here and elevated in this beautiful space, thank you so much.
Well, what a privilege.
Such a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I think it's good to be able also to welcome the models that we've all been doing. Twins, please, our dear Jade and Emma, could you come with us? Fantastic. Followed immediately by Olivia and Leonie. That will be great.
Hi.
Like
That look amazing.
Very different work, very different style, very different look. That's a different approach of classical hairdressing. That's amazing. Honestly, I told you it's not about the ABC of this afternoon in this masterclass. The masterclass is dedicated of the creative process. I think we've learned a lot about the transformative power of hair. You've seen that how can only hair can really transform and create a character. So maybe tomorrow morning, think about your client being a character. What is the story she wants with you to express with her hair? I think that was like a very insightful afternoon, either in color, either in styling, playing with textures and creating new identities. It has been like a real pleasure to have you online with you. Thank you very much for your interactions. Thanks for all the love you've shared with us. And we're looking forward to see you on our next Tech Talk. When is our next Tech Talk? June 29th. Together with you, I'll be on stage with Jacob Habib Khan, which is our amazing global creative contributor based in the USA. The topic will be, it was a long time it didn't happen. The topic will be cutting. So he will bring to you color and cut trends in order to create fast and efficient looks, in order to create very attractive women's look, women that they really deserve. I cannot finish this masterclass and this day. To be real, this weekend of transformation after like 2 days of transformation day and this Tech Talk dedicated to transformation. I cannot finish this without saying a big thank you to all the production team that have been working with us, either L'Ensemble and either Shortcut yesterday for this amazing event. A huge congratulations also, because this is coming from the inside. Can I have the educators pop up, please? Please turn around. Can you just regroup yourself, all the education team, regroup, like go run, and then we're gonna flip the camera, and so the camera is gonna be able to say thank you to these people that are now in the camera. Thanks again for our two hosts of this afternoon. Thanks again for two hosts of this morning. You can stand up.
Yes,
you can stand up.
Yes.
Come with us. That was the morning session on French blending. You're shy to stand up when you're not shy to be a model or to ask questions all the afternoon. Thank you very much to all of you. We're looking forward to see you back here on that set in the Visionnaire, the headquarters of L'Oréal in the heart of Paris on June 29th. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time, and we're looking forward to see you back. Thank you very much, and see you soon.